Welcome to Buffer's Brewery again. Just an update really on what I've been doing in my shed of late. One of the things I've been looking at is seeing if I can improve my dry hopper. You might remember the device I made a video about. It's like you can see it's been used a few times. Hopper and a lid and springs and things. And it worked okay, but only okay. There were some niggles with it. The springs didn't always pull the hopper right back to release all the hops into the brew, so it was only a partial dry hop, so there were a few things not quite right with it. One of the other issues I noticed with my original design was that it wouldn't fit the smaller lids. It was too long, so it wasn't really appropriate, and there's this weird ridge here which got in the way. So again, a smaller dry hopper would be better for the smaller diameter fermenter. The other thing that I wanted to look at is that I noticed on looking on the brewing forums that some people like to do two dry hops, one early on in fermentation and one towards the end. And a big hop bucket like that wouldn't really work. So I thought, well, let's have a look at the design in general and also make it smaller so that you could perhaps fit two in rather than just one. So the video today is really to just give you an introduction into the Buffer's Brewery Ultimate Dry Hopper De-luxe. That's not a mouthful, is it? So there are all the bits of the Ultimate Dry Hopper. It looks a bit of a tangle, but I shall try and sort it out for you. So this bit and this bit, they're on the outside of the lid, as you can see, festooned with magnets. Do all the grunt, as it were. And this is the hop bucket that sits on the underside of the fermentation lid. And then there are two flaps, one which is just a passive flap, hooks on the bucket, and the other one is an active flap because it's got a couple of magnets on it to keep it closed while there's hops on it, and that hooks under the other side. So that's what it looks like in the open state, but it's unattached. So this is where these bits come in. So those fit together like that. So you can see the this long thin release, what I call a release bar, can slide up and down inside that groove, and that sits on the top of the lid, and this bend has to be towards the active side flap, so it has to be on the lid that way round, if you understand. So we can just lift that up, pop the magnets in place, and you can see that the bucket's held closed. Then the passive lid, you can put your hops as before into the bucket, close the release lid and the active lid, and now that's held closed, you can see, and that will hold about 150 grams weight. Whether 150 grams of hop will fit inside that, I'm not too sure, but certainly it'll hold 150 grams weight. And then I'll just reposition the camera to show you the release. Okay, so here we are again. So to release it, this bar here just needs to be slid either that way or that way, depending on which way is accessible to you when it's perhaps in your fermentation fridge. And if I do that, you'll be able to see what happens. Let me just turn it around so you can see. That's it. So I'm moving the bar and bobs around. Oh, the lid opens and the flaps are held open to discharge the hop load. So just so you can see what it looks like when fitted to a bucket, fermentation bucket that's filled with 5 gallons of, well, in this case, water. This is what the bird's eye view looks like when you release the bar. As you can see, the 2 flaps have come right up so that the bucket can discharge. I mentioned that it's also fits the smaller diameter fermentation lid. As you can see here, I've got one fitted, and that's what it looks like on the outside, and works just the same. And as you can see, the lump that's in the middle of the lid actually fits quite nicely in the recess that's in the bucket. So you can certainly fit one of these 100ml, 150 gram dry hoppers onto a small diameter fermentation vessel. Well, I hope you found that of interest, if not amusing. Till the next time, cheers.